Good morning, my listeners. Zulu is back and going to continue this. I'm sorry about the last chapter on my videos because this was wrong. This is a lesson in humanity. Chapter 15 of the series. Chapters. Whatever, I'm going to read this anyway. But I will continue to fix the videos and stuff like that if anything is wrong there. But let's get down to it. Monster by Blackwing. A lesson in humanity. This chapter is mostly human history lesson. Yeah. So if you don't want to hear this, then wait for next chapter. Here we go. Alright. The first thing you all should know about Earth. There is no magic. At least non-magic. Not known. If it does exist, it, petitions are very secretive about it. And so it's not common knowledge. Nightshade began. He had to start off somewhere. Celestia remembered a bit of the humans, but knew nothing of the world to which her parents had sent them. Luna knew nothing at all, as she was too young to remember, and her sister had not told her of them, trying to bury the past. The clouds move on their own, and the sun and the moon are not risen. The sun is center, while Earth circles around it. The moon around the Earth, he said, conjuring a model of the solar system that filled the entire room. Teaching is so much easier when you can call upon whatever you want, no matter how absurd it is. Just a thought. He figured since he could unlimited resources at his disposal, why not go with a bit of flair? Lyra seemed interested. Celestia was unimpressed at being at a school again, and Luna was absolutely giddy at the show. Somewhat after they are woken up to get something to eat, class returned inside Nightshade's head. His three guests were more than eager to get back to lesson. Once he had gotten done with the rest of the solar system, he had brought the focus on Earth and labeled it each country's. He talked about Europa, where the most modern civilization came from, and the various royals would do further empires, which apparently the sister as to know with responsibility of the entire nation could act such a way. They also seemed upset about learning that humans rode atop horses for greater part of the millennia, often mistreating them. The West Eastern nations, China, Japan, India, were the bizarre culture and different things they ate. Africa, which constant strife and drought, famine, disease and alike. He moved into the Middle East and brought up the various religion wars that took place, and ancient Egypt. He moved on to Australia, how the entire continent originally for prisoner used by Britain, and how much pretty everything that moved tried to kill you, and even some things that didn't move. Yeah. He moved into Americas and explained the conquistadors and the like. He topped us several times, while Celestia was no stranger to war, having narrowly avoided a full conflict with the Griffin Kingdoms, with a few skirmishes about 600 years ago. Luna was faring somewhat more poorly. She looked like she was going to cry. Lyra full out vomited. Although how that was possible while inside someone's head, it's a mystery. After going the settling of America, how the natives were forced off the land, he finally got to the 90s. After briefly going over World War One, leaving out the most details to spare Lyra. Yeah, thank you for that one. He moved over to the industrial age. He went over the development of medicine and machine, how vehicles brought to the great deal of prosperity, and how fortunately they were also of use for war. From his memory, he showed them a film on World War II and the Holocaust, and all the three Poles began to cry. To how much? And he had to cut it short. He explained that while it was a tragedy, the humans were suddenly realized how close they were to destroying themselves, and made a great many advances in human rights. He told them what he knew about various saints, that they would come along, making the world a better place for those around them. Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, Martin Luther King, as well as the equal rights movement, seeing that humanity wasn't all bad, made them pair up a little bit. Yeah. I'm sorry if I don't get the pronunciation right, but still, it's damn hard. Finally, Nightshade reached out to the modern age. They explained the internet in the most unrevealing way possible. It was the no freaking way that he's going to tell about the Rule 34 and memes. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. Although he was sure Luna would love Nyan Cat. Yeah, go figure. And the best part of the lesson, space exploration. For as long as man has existed on Earth, he has looked up to the night sky and wondered what was there. During the day, the sun gave light to the world and allowed things to grow. But the night was truly fully captivating, he began, and this got Luna's attention. Humans plotted the night sky, finding patterns, constellations, comets, and anything else that was out there. So observed with the night sky that they found that each month of the year that had 12 constellations taking the main position of the sky. People born under a set of stars had certain personality traits. They used the stars for everything, keeping time, navigation, when to plant and when to harvest crops. They built better and better telescopes, trying to see further into the endless sky. Celestia and Lyra were fairly interested at humans used the night, but Luna was absolutely entranced. He had moved on to the moon. How it was had different phases, and how the moon affected the tides and even the people. Humans tend to be more excitable during the full moon and more prone to doing crazy things. It's where the term lunatic came from. Celestia laughed at the fact that Luna had all the crazy people on Earth named after her. Nightshade continued, talking about space travel. How humans have spent entire decades trying to reach it. They have finally succeeded. What? Said Luna with shock. That's right. Humans have traveled to the moon on several occasions. In fact, since Earth is settling a bit too crowded and polluted, humans are currently in current process of building an entire city on the moon, so people can live there permanently. They would grow their own food, make their own air, and do everything all from on the moon. After showing them another video of the rocket launch, the moon landing, and the plans of future colonization, the ponies were flabbergasted. How is this possible without magic? Well, since humans haven't magic, we always have to make it without it. We relied on our ingenuity and creative to build things that can do what we cannot do. For example, humans can't see very far into space, so we built a massive telescope called Hubble, and to put it into orbit. We also can't talk telepathic, like we are doing now. Sure, we're in my mind, but just the host. You're all here by your own powers, so we have to find a way to communicate. We built satellites that work like these things called cell phones. If you had someone's phone number, you could talk to them in the world. The ponies noticed that Nightshade has referring as we and not as they. When they brought it up, he just ignored them and continued, amazed at all the wonders humanity had came up with. Aid for them. There is normally would be used, but also saddened at the cost it had on the planet. Sure, they had advanced, but the world was no longer a bright and shining world. It was a one of grey skies and dull stones. Lyra finally asked about his past. So now that we know about human history, what about your history, Mr. Monster? What have you been taught? While Earth isn't a bad place to live if you're a regular human, I'm not. And so, unfortunately, I can't live there. You're not going to like what you see. So again, if you need me to stop, just say so. He warned. Nightshade went through his memory, showing what he had done to help others, and how it had come back to bite him. They also learned about his real name. Davis? Davis? Luna started laughing. Apparently, his name was funny. For being a princess who had been banished to the moon for 1,000 years, she surely was light-hearted. Maybe she was just happy to be back at all and living life to the fullest. Yeah, laugh it off, Miss Lunatic, he said sarcastically. That made Luna blush and Celestia giggle. Maybe Celestia wasn't such a stick in the mud after all. Then they saw what he had been through, his life on the run, and finally the moment when he was zapped to this Equestria. Lyra's eyes went wide. It worked, she said stunned. What worked? What do you mean? Said Nightshade. The spell. Me and Twilight worked on it for almost a year. We had to stop because she had gotten a new assignment. And me trying to catch a human was just a side project. We only had a little bit of time left, so we decided to put everything into one last ditch of effort. I thought we had failed. Because of the destruction the portal had caused, we decided to never try it again, Lyra said, unsure what to feel at a sudden realization that all of her hard work has not been lost. You mean you were the only one who brought me here? He said, puzzled. Yeah, I guess I am, she said softly. She was completely surprised when a human jumped up and gave her a massive hug and began dancing around the floors of his own mind with her in her arms, limp like a rag doll, and the princess looked rather confused. After regaining his composure and setting down the stunned Lyra down, he gave an explanation. If not for you, your last ditch of effort, I would be dead right now. I would never have to met Skulu, who would have died in the forest. Although it has been hard, the 2 years I've spent here in Equestria have been the happiest of my life. I owe everything to you and Twilight. I don't know how I could ever repay you, Nightshade said joyfully. Can you let me see? You let me see you? Face to face, that is, she asked. Of course. You can come by the hospital tomorrow. You may want to bring Twilight and her friends with you. They still don't know what happened, or that we are even here, and would probably like an explanation. He turned to the princesses. I mean, if that's all right with you. Something the way he said that, those lines, seems familiar, and Celestia was complied to agree. Besides, she needed to catch up with her student and inform her about more careful with her activities she did in her spare time. Jokingly, of course. She seemed never want to stifle Twilight. She just wanted her to have a little bit of fun with her. Something called trolling. Yeah, laugh it up. That she had learned about during the internet portion of the lesson. Well, she hadn't known they had a name for it. She was familiar with the concept, and she didn't feel as bad knowing it actually was a commonplace. She seemed to rather a particular incident involving tickets at the Grand Galloping Gala, which drove her perfectionist student up the wall, as well as having Twilight's friends crash at the gala itself, letting her get a laugh while maintaining her image. Also, before waking up, I'm wondering just why was it that Lyra kept dreaming of me? I mean, there are plenty of humans. I wonder why she kept getting me. I, Nightshade asked Celestia. While as far as I can tell, her interest in humans is what that drew her to dream of them. So when trying to find one, her mind zeroed in on the most interesting human there is, Celestia responded. So let me get this straight. Until I came to Equestria, I was the most interesting man in the world, he inquired, using the voice that narrated alcohol commercial. Seems so, Luna said, although not sure as to why the human had suddenly changed his tone of voice. She called it shocked it up at just being a human joke. Okay, that was the last bit of that chapter. Yeah, I'm going to pick this up, push it on YouTube, and continue reading next chapter. See you probably a bit later. See ya!